So if you do find a purchase order that has not been received in, we want to go ahead and receive that in. If you have received all of your purchase orders, you want to find a sales order that hasn't been shipped, or a line that hasn't been shipped on a sales order.
Lori, what screen did you say I could go in if I wanted to delete a purchase order that I'm not going to receive in?
You're going to go into purchase order entry.
Okay.
And then you'll need to unapprove the PO because you need to make the changes. And then highlight the line. Oh my goodness. And delete it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lori, I have a bunch of POs, but nothing's tied to projects. Because I think these were all ones that were done prior to doing that.
Okay.
And you're going to ask me to remember where these are supposed to go. I have no idea.
No, I wasn't. No. Okay, because I just looked at the dashboard that showed POs not linked to projects, and I didn't see any with your name on them. Did you look at the releases tab?
No.
I don't know how many people are seeing my screen, but I just got kicked out again, so. One thing on the purchase order tracker, I don't believe that the project ID is on that summary page in the tracker, so you would have to look at the release tab.
Yeah, no, it doesn't show up.
Okay, I wonder, oh my gosh. I wonder if that's one of the squirrely ones that I didn't get fixed, that's in a different site. Were you using the tracker, Amy?
Yeah, I was in purchase order tracker.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so all of those are closed.
Okay, so I think never mind. Look at me. Did you receive all close it, clear all that out?
So anything that was a drop ship, I did that process.
Okay.
So that could have been some of those. And then some of those were the squirrely ones that I had to change the site and all that.
I was going to say, because I didn't go in and do all this.
Yeah, it could have been me.
It's fine. I'll just start from scratch.
It's more practice.
Great, yay!
Lori, I'm sorry. So when you're searching your purchase orders to see if they're open,
Mhm.
they're in the purchase order tracker.
Yes.
So if you put in the purchase order number and the green box says open on one, that means it's open to still receiving. If it says it's closed and red, no, right?
Correct. So I just went into purchase order tracker under your name, and I could have done status open, and it's going to give me these three.
You searched my name.
So in the purchase order tracker and purchase order search, you can put your buyer ID in there.
Oh, right. Oh, so a list came up, but it's only the ones with the three check marks. Yeah, I have a list of them. It's just not those three.
You have more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just I went in and did status of open. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. If I do all of them, I'll probably get the same list you have.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Lori, I went ahead and deleted my line on my purchase order.
Mm-hmm.
Now to have it show up to where it's not showing open anymore, would I have to close that order under actions, or is there a different button I need to hit?
Yeah, you'll go to actions and close.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, so for those of you that found a PO that needs to be received in, let me make sure that this one will work. So then we're going to go into material management, purchase management, shipping and receiving. I'm sorry, material management, shipping and receiving, general operations, receipt entry.
Just an FYI, this is the fourth time I've gone in and out. Epicore's closed me out. Just FYI.
I know, it's the same thing that's happening to me. I don't know what's...
Just so you know.
Yeah. So, just so you guys all know too, we are in the process of, right now, we are using a server that is basically hosted by Epicore. And we are working on taking out that middleman. So we have a little bit more control, and hopefully we don't have as many kickouts and that kind of thing as we do now. It hasn't taken place yet, but it is definitely in the works. So I'm not going to talk through the receipt entry part. I'm going to want you guys to do it on your own. But if you want to watch my screen, I'm going to go ahead and receive in my PO.
Lori?
Mhm.
Sorry, I can hear myself talking. Amy and I were talking. I just want to make sure stuff that ships direct
Mhm.
doesn't have to be received in, right? And will automatically get billed.
Correct.
Okay.
So, and I'll show you guys that process, just kind of at an overview. And once you've received in, if you had your project tracker open, then go ahead and refresh and make sure that you have your checkbox next to that other PO. Okay, so once you've done the receipt, we're going to go into customer shipment entry, so you'll still stay in the same menu area and do customer shipment entry. And again, I'm going to let you guys, you can either watch as I go, or you can follow the procedure, or you can go by memory.
How do I know if there's anything that's been received that hasn't been shipped?
If you look at the order, you look at your lines. If there's one that, if you look at the list view, if you have a checkbox in the open, then that line's open to be shipped to your customer.
Is there any way to like see an overview of items we have in the warehouse instead of going into the order that I've created?
Let's see if you do order tracker. So you can do open and then you can put in your customer. If you do open wide open, it's going to give your whole branch the orders. You can also look in Project Tracker. I believe it'll show you.
Lori, what did it mean again under POs?
I'm sorry?
What did the checks mean again?
In the tracker, in the Project Tracker,
Yeah.
that means you've received those goods in.
Okay, I've received all of them except for one, but I know I just did it, so I'm doing something wrong.
Click your refresh button.
On Project Tracker or entry?
On your Project Tracker.
Still showing it.
Okay, so on your receipt,
Mm-hmm.
when you're at your summary view, does it have a checkbox on the received all?
No.
Okay, check that and then click save.
That did it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So in receipt entry, when you receive a line complete, and it'll show, I think it says received or something. If you click save then, it will check the received all button for you on the summary page. If you don't hit save, then you'll need to manually click that received all button on the summary page to have it reflect back into your Project Tracker for showing that the PO has been received.
Hey Lori, I just got into sales order tracker and I see that I have a computer open. Would I just make like a note of which ones are open, or is there a way to get into the shipment program from here?
So you found a purchase order in your Project Tracker that needs to still be received?
No, everything's been received, but I don't know if it's shipped yet. I'm trying to figure out if I have inventory that needs to ship.
Okay, so if you're in your Project Tracker and you click on your orders, I would do right click, open with
Oh, I thought I was trying to get the sales order tracker.
You can do it that way also.
Okay, that's where you told me to go, so that's where I am.
Okay, so if you're in sales order tracker,
Yep.
and you search,
I open one, search.
yeah. So open and then search, and it'll show you which orders are open.
This is kind of like an inventory, maybe?
Yeah, so this would show you what you have in inventory that still needs to be shipped.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
When you find that order, you can either pull up the order or you can just make note of the order number. And then you would want to go through your customer shipment entry.
I wish that like these programs, like all these different windows that were open, were kind of like work within them and not have 5 different windows.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them, well, I wouldn't say you work within them, but you can get to the next one, you know. But as far as, you know, the other thing is the way that, you know, Epicor is built and that kind of thing. A lot of if you have a warehouse, a lot of this stuff is stuff that the warehouse will be doing. So you'll be doing this kind of thing, you know, one, if you don't have a warehouse, if you have something going to 3PL and you'll want to send the paperwork to them, then you'll be doing these kind of things. But if you have a warehouse, you'll have warehouse personnel that will be doing the receiving and will be doing the shipping.
Right, but we'll be the ones training.
You'll be the ones training them? Is that what you said?
Yeah, our warehouse personnel, like they're not, we have to fully understand how to do this so that we can train them how to do it.
Yeah, we honestly haven't got too far down as far as the training of who's doing what training for what areas, when it comes to also like manufacturing and creating jobs and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, having a clear understanding of it. I'm just saying, like, they're not going to be looking necessarily at your project tracker or your sales order or that kind of stuff. They have another dashboard that we haven't even begun to look at, called Fulfillment Workbench, that will show all the orders that are in there that need to be shipped, and they'll be working from that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's a little different, but it'll make more sense farther on when we get farther into the process.
Okay.
But yeah, so anybody who has an attached warehouse, that warehouse personnel will be working in what's called Fulfillment Workbench. It'll show all the orders and when they're due to the customer's quantity, you know, how to ship it, all that kind of stuff will be in that, as well as any of the jobs that need to be built.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so is everyone good, or still need a few minutes to finish the customer shipment? So I don't remember. I know that we did calls with everyone as far as how much of your business is make and ship directly from your supplier to your customer. But as I've mentioned before, the drop shipment process is going to be done by corporate. You do have this drop shipment tracker, and you also have this buy to order tracker. So anything that is a drop ship is a buy to order drop ship. And you have the ability to, this looks really scary, but it's not as bad as it looks. But you can put in, you know, the required ship date, and you can search by those. Obviously there's not anything in here. You can search by a part number or a description or a customer ID, and it'll show you what all has been shipped. But you can also go into this one, which is the drop shipment tracker, and you can search by closed or open, whatever. If I do open, I see that there's 2 in here, and I'm gonna actually steal these from Jennifer and Denise to show you guys really quickly what that drop shipment process looks like, even though you won't be doing it. But, you know, I just want you guys to see kind of what happens, because it is kind of a nifty little doohickey, whatever. So this is the drop shipment entry screen. And what will happen is AP will get the invoice from the supplier saying that something went direct. It'll have the PO referenced, so they'll enter in the PO number. And then they'll take whatever is on the invoice, the bill of lading number or whatever. I'm just making this one up. And actually, did I already do this? I already did this one. Whoops, sorry. But then they would do a new drop ship line. And it's not going to let me because I've already done it. But basically, they'll put in the PO line and the release, and then the quantity. Again, if it's, you know how like today, a lot of your editors know if a customer accepts overruns or not. So that'll kind of go through the same process, but they'll enter in the shipped quantity, they'll assign it a lot, and then it'll basically be received and shipped in one process. So then it'll be done, and it'll show up on your sales order as something that's already been closed because it's been shipped. Let me see if this other one's been done. I thought I did all of them, so I was a little confused when I saw. Okay, so this is a new one. So I put in the purchase order number and the pack slip number. And invalid customer. So anyway, that's basically what will happen with the drop ships. That's the only thing that is actually going to be driven by the supplier invoice. So regular product that comes into a warehouse and gets shipped out, basically the cost of those goods is happening when you receive them in. So we're not waiting on the supplier invoice. And once you ship them out, it can go ahead and be invoiced. It can be paid and commissioned without waiting on the supplier invoice. Drop shipments are a little different because we are waiting on the invoice from the supplier to show us that it actually went.
Hey, Lori, if we want to say we want to put some parts in the system, not via quote, just put them in the system, can we do that? Or do you want us to not do that? So we don't have to create new parts every time we do a quote.
So you can do that.
I'm okay if you say no, I'm just asking.
No, I mean, and we will, we'll show you guys basically what or how to do that. But anything that you're doing new, as far as like entering parts, entering warehouses, entering bins or whatever, is going to be in the setup part of the menu. And actually we'll look at a part that's been created, but yes, you can enter parts into the system, and then when you get ready to do your quote, you'll need to know either the system generated part or the customer cross-reference part that will pull in the system generated part. But when you're creating a part, just in part maintenance, it's a little different because you're not going to put anything in here in the part, and you also will have to go to a different screen to tie in the customer part number. You'll have to enter in a customer cross-reference part. So when you're doing them on the quote, the system's doing all of that for you. If you do it, independently and create the part in the part master, you'll need to go and to customer cross-reference to link the customer's part number to your system generated part number.
Got it.
So I am just gonna, now that you brought it up though, I will bring up a part.
You look
So
like
when
you're
you-
bored over there, so I thought I'd add something new.
Thanks. So you can pull up, when you're searching for a part, you can pull it up by the buyer ID or the customer part number or the customer ID. And that is all pulling actually from the quote when you created the part. But if I pull up one of mine, I don't want to mess up anybody else.